Oh my God. Here we go indeed. Here we go. We have no time to wait. I'll see you guys in the room. Let's go. We gotta get going now. Hello, 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 hello. Hello. What's going on? Hey, how we doing? How are you guys doing? Now, I don't ask just for fun. I want to know, how are we doing? It's hot out there. I know where I'm at, it's hot as fuck. I know it's not just me, it can't be. How we doing? D-Beck, how we doing? I have to get you your story today. I'm happy to do it. And, oh my God, the Pappy Sharky? Now, okay. So, okay, Gun is here, very good. D-Beck, yes, great. I'm so glad you guys are here. We have so much to do. Your buddy and you beat Halo 2 yesterday. Stave, hello, how are you? So, okay, so you guys beat Halo 2 yesterday. That's fantastic. You get to move on to what I consider to be the golden age of Halo. Halo 3 and Halo Reach in their release. Oh man. Chef's kiss. Fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff. You've been living in Florida, so you get that hot and wet, that wet and wild. All right. Okay, I got you. Well, okay. Titan Bjorn, how you doing? Now, look. We have no time today. Today, I have no time at all. Today, we're gonna go and fast forward. I wanna hit the beats, okay? I don't think when I set up the stream and I started everything and I was like, yeah, hashtag SWORD or hashtag Final Fantasy 14. I set all that up. I thought I would have a little more time. Something has come up. And we're still gonna do the stream, but we gotta do some fast forward here. This has gotta go double time. And it's gonna be shorter. I can't say there's not like a time that not quite. This is more of a focus. So today, and for the moment at least, we gotta hit our paces. So I am glad to see you guys here. We are still gonna push things to the limit. That's right. Exclamation point focus. It's time. We gotta push it. Remember the Lamaze breathing. That's us right now, pre-labor. I think it's time to get to the game. We gotta get going right over there. Ugh. Yeah, kinda. Nigel, it's a little bit of a montage stream. We're gonna push it to the limit. So, I wanna see you sexy faces right over there in the game. And, well, I'll see you there. Yeah, we're here. It's happening. It's already happening. Low health is already loaded up. We gotta go. Now, I need to check on the cartel crates that I have, because I don't know if in my current state I have enough. You'll bring the face you've got. That'll do, Legged Shepherd. That'll do. I appreciate it. Oh, God, it is hot as balls in here. That's what I'll tell you, and we're only just getting started. That's always great. It was almost 100 degrees. A clip show, as it were. Well, that's something that I'm kind of working on. It's too loud still. Come on, let's change the song too. I installed my new mouse, which is the old mouse, just a new version. As I said before, now with more expensive. It's hilarious to me. So we're gonna jump into PvP. We're gonna go to the cartel market. I have something very similar to enough. So what I think I'm gonna do, instead of buy another $100, I'm just gonna like put a 5 spot on, just because it's like I'm right there. Yes. There it is. Perfect. All right. Now you, and you. Oh, it's magic. Okay. So, there we are. Yeah, it's pretty nice. It's not gonna randomly short out, I hope, which the other one was doing. Also, the center click, the mouse wheel, whenever I clicked on the mouse wheel, it would just machine gun off however many clicks it felt like. It was never consistent and it was always too many. So I'm pretty happy to be doing away with that. So those are ready to go. This is gonna be 90. Yeah. So this is pretty great. I am personally, I'm putting in a lot of work in my my day job because I have this week to kind of work ahead a little bit, and then I'm off for a week. Sarah and I have planned several of the, hello Riel, how you doing? Sarah and I have put together several of our hikes, some footage collection. I've personally taken some efforts to make that a little easier. One of the strengths of a GoPro, if you guys don't know, is that used to love the Nagas. I love the Nagas. I think they're fantastic. It's just that, you know. Yo, what's going on, Game Loot? How you doing? They do wear out, especially when I'm on them so much. I'm on them for work. I'm on them for play. I'm on them for this, which is kind of a mixture. It's kind of fun, and it takes its toll. It takes its toll. Oh, I see. No. What am I looking at here? Interesting. Huh. Anyway, so yeah, I'm how was the hike? It didn't happen. It started and then it stopped. Stuff happened. A little bit of the same thing that's happening today, and I can't really talk about it. I wish that I could, but it's not fair to everyone involved that I get to decide how it's talked about publicly. So it's not. It's a part of life. And Taco Bell announced $1 crunch wraps. Kind of. So I want, this is a kind of a PSA for everybody. If you have depression, okay, take care of yourself. Do some self-care. Be honest with people who care about you, because I guarantee they care about you enough to listen. They care about you enough to want to engage, okay? If you have no one in your life, talk to me. Talk to the people in the chat. We don't need to talk about it openly in the chat. DM on the Discord, you know? Strike up a conversation. See if somebody wants to, you know... I know that we have people who do have depression. I fortunately don't. I'm always willing to listen. You cry. It's a real bitch. It's a real bitch. Take care of yourself. Take some time, man. Well, thank you. It's all gonna work out. It's all gonna work out. It's just that it's a scene, man. But it's a thing. We'll get through it. Thank you, Dick Twitch. I appreciate that. So, D-Beck, we're gonna talk about the time I was arrested. Now, this is a redemption. This is a redemption. For a story time. So, D-Beck, I've told this one on here before, but I figure it's worth telling again. I knew a fella, man, where do I even start with this one? In high school, I had, no couch this time, Exodus. No couch this time. But, a couple of young, dumb, hot-blooded fellas, for sure. So, what, I guess this story starts with, yes, Junasa, yes, that's right. I guess I'm on guard duty. So, This one here, boy. So this one starts with me. And it starts with me and my good friend, who I guess I can't name. He's technically in law enforcement now, so I don't think that this would go over too well. It doesn't matter. The point is, my buddy and I, we had, so you were, that's amazing. I actually love that. Call him Farva. Farva and I were having a good time. And Farva and I, one of the nice things about the high school that I went to is there were cliques, there were kind of social stratifications, you know, you had your jocks, you had your nerds or whatever, but there was nothing fixed. It was so casual that you could just as easily see anybody from any group of people at any of the other get-togethers or parties or whatever, and you wouldn't even think about it. It was a very, very, very casual, at least that was my experience. Maybe not everyone was so lucky, I don't know. But to me, I was a transient, and it was I had a good time. I was friends with everyone, and so we had Farva and I. There were several. Yeah, click fluid. That's right. Anyway, the deal is, Farva and I, we actually held this position in several different schools within the area. We were click fluid. I'm sorry, Dark Lights of the Wolf, that sucks. But yeah, we were click fluid in several different areas. Now, he was actually much more of a jock than I was. He was on several teams. Son of a bitch that he was, he actually was sent a couple Christmas cards while he was in high school from MLB teams, from Major League Baseball teams. Now, that's pretty special, but it's by no means a singular incident. They do that to all prospects who they want to keep in mind. They send cards out, and he was good. He was damn good. And so they were keeping him in mind and keeping him on the list, right? And so he held a lot more of the jock, I would say, positions, but it doesn't really matter. We were very click fluid. I like that term, Basket. That's awesome. So Farva and I, we decide, hey, you know, let's go to one of the football games. But you know, I bet it would be a lot more fun if we could get tanked. I think it would be a lot more fun if we could, like, bring some booze in. I think that would be fantastic. And honestly, you know, why are there bridges? Why does money exist? Why are there roads? Why are there skyscrapers? Why did people go to the West? Well, ladies. For the ladies. And so, you know, we're absolutely no different. You know, we had to get some ladies involved. We were like, yeah, okay. Gals, let's get this fun drink party scenario going. And so we got a couple of our friends, and we said, hey, because they wanted to be one of the elves. That's a different kind of West. That's a very different kind of West. But yeah. So you know, we decided, hey, let's get some gals and we'll go have a good time, and we'll play some drinking games, and we got them some fruity stuff, and my buddy Farva and I started throwing back beer, and just absolutely tossing it back, because it was like a time thing. we of course couldn't buy beer at the time, and so we didn't have like a lot of say in like when it showed up or like what our window was, right? So when it showed up, we were like, okay, it's time to drink. The drinking time has begun, and we have this much time because we couldn't even drive yet. We were like 16. I know I was working on my my learner's permit at the time, and so we were just like throwing it back, and we'd been drinking long enough that we were able to pass off being intoxicated around our folks, and so I petitioned my parents to basically drive us to the game, and the gals sat in the very far back because they were just giggle happy. They weren't, you know, they couldn't hide anything. My folks didn't know them, so it's not like they had a reference or anything. We were playing it off is basically what it amounts to, right? We were actually going to get away with getting there, and because of the circumstances that you just don't have control over when you're in high school trying to sneak beer, you kind of have to take your bounty with you, and we did. And I figured, hey, you know, there's no fucking way, because at my school we had a metal detector and backpack checks if you brought something in. I was like, there's no fucking way that they're gonna let us in with beer. Obviously, like fucking obviously. It's a high school football game. Okay, so I call up my buddy who is, his name is Nick, and he's in several of my other stories. He's a fucking character. I believe that Nick's life is probably worthy of a book that no one will ever write because Nick's not a writer. And Nick was one of those like Ramones listening to punks who, no, I think Nick Cage could have a run for his money with Nick. When I met Nick sophomore year, just as a tiny bit of preamble, he was already experiencing kidney failure from drinking so much. And this isn't like, I'm not saying that's cool. I'm just saying this dude lived rough. He was out on the brink all the time. All the time. He just lived his life on the fucking brink. And I was like, Nick, dude, I got a problem. I need to get into the game, and I have some friends. Do you have an info? And he's like, give me a minute. He texts me back, and he's like, yeah, I got you. And to his credit, he did. He met up with us. He basically just cut a hole in the fences in an area that has a blind spot for the cameras, and just kind of bent the wire back on the fence, and just kind of he like let us in, and I paid him a couple beers, and I had like 20 left, and I was like, well, I know more than that. Shit, it had to be at least a 30 rack left. But yeah, I was, I had a lot, so I was passing them out. And yeah, I mean, so, and then Nick, I would find out, would actually go on to charge people less than the standard entry fee. It was like $5 to get in the normal door. He was charging people $3 a piece to get in the side. Yeah, he did pretty well for himself. And that was a G motherfucking G, bruh. Yeah, it was pretty good. So he did pretty well for himself that night. And we got in, and I had a backpack full of beer, and we're in, okay? It's fine. That's not a problem. We're in. And I'm passing them out. And people are not being chill. They are not being chill. I went into the bathroom a couple of times. I kind of lost my date, by the way. I don't know what happened to her. She just disappeared at some point. And, whatever. But I went to the bathroom at some point, and there was what had started. I remember just recommending to somebody, I was like, hey, just put like the beer cans behind one of the toilets or whatever. And, you know, just put it there, you know, because you can't put it in the trash. Put it in the trash, you're gonna get in trouble because they're gonna see it. It's a problem. They're chaperones. But they're not gonna go in the bathroom. Put it in the just put it behind one of the toilets in the bathroom. It's fine. At one point, I remember going in there, and there was a goddamn pyramid behind one of the bathrooms, and it was not hidden any longer. The point of it being behind the toilet was to hide it. It was not hidden. There was nothing even close to hidden. It was just, no, it's a fucking mess. Anyway, it was a fucking pyramid, and it was spilling out all over the. It was in the other stall. It was a fucking problem. Anyway, yeah, a basket of pups. Yeah. Anyway, so we had a, that was a thing, and obviously it was gonna get seen. Somebody saw. I remember I basically spilled out of the bathroom at one point, and a good friend of mine, Ashley, I hope she's doing well. But she's like, whoa, hey, how you doing? How you doing, Lou? And then like basically took my arm and like wrapped it around her hip and like kind of like held on to my hand and like had like my arm around her hip, like basically holding me up. I'm probably 30-40 beers in at this point. It's a light beer, so it's not like it's, you know, it's a Keystone fucking Light. You can drink it like water. So, and which is cold because his name is Carl. Yeah, my real name, obvious. Anyway, but Ashley, she's like, hey, how you doing? You good? And I was like, I'm so good. She's like, yeah, man, you look great. Hey, we gotta get you out of here, man. And I was like, oh, I don't have any beer for you, Ashley. I'm sorry. And she's like, it's not what I'm looking for. I'm worried about you getting the fuck out of here before they find you. They're looking for you. And I was like, you think so? And she's like, well, you know, you weren't exactly clever about this. This wasn't one of your high points. And I was like, we're just trying to have a good time. They'll be cool with it. And she's like, I don't think so. So she walks me over to some other friends of mine who are like, hey, how are you? You're lit as fuck right now. What's going on? And the black and no, that's her name. We don't know her name yet. We don't even know where she's from. Anyway, but yeah, the funny thing is, but yeah, she took me over to some friends and she's like, hey, so did he come in through Nick's gate over on the side? And people were they were like speculating. I'm like, Nick's a good guy. He's a great guy. Like, oh yeah. And she's like, well, Nick got busted. They're watching that. How are we gonna get him out? So my good friends are planning for me how they're gonna get me out of this mess. Really, I didn't deserve them then. And they were kind of planning for my absolutely tankard ass, how they were gonna get me out. And they were like, dude, okay, so somebody came back and they're like, okay, so we got a window for you. Somebody else shows up and they're like, hey, Farva's in trouble. They got Farva. Remember Farva being my buddy who I showed up with. And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah, I saw, I guess I shouldn't say his name. He actually died, which, you know. Anyway, not Farva. My buddy's alive. The guy who was talking to Farva, the teacher who was talking to Farva, who chaperoned these things out of spite. He loved. This guy. Do you guys remember, like Mr. Finch from the Harry Potter series? How he just loved, like, punishing, like, the youth it was like weird. There was something weird about this guy. Anyway, he like fucking loved, like more than like what was due. Like it was his thing. I don't know. It doesn't matter. The point is, yeah, hey, dude, it was a lot like that. And so even if you like, and so if there was a reason to be an asshole, like let's say you were drinking and Flitch, not Finch, thank you. I was thinking of Atticus Finch and about how we need Atticus Finch right now. But that's a whole different thing. Or at least Atticus Finch from the first book. The rest kind of lose the... It doesn't matter. The point is, no one's a perfect, you know... No one's perfect. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Right now we're talking about Flitch. And,
welcome to the clan, warrior.
Yo, Face Twist. Nice to have you in here. We're talking about how my buddy... Yo, Deluxe, what's going on, man?
Welcome to the clan, warrior.
So we're talking about a buddy of mine, and about how he was in trouble, and they're like, hey, Flitch is what we're gonna call the instructor because he really is what he liked. He's like, hey, you know, Flitch got him, so you gotta get out of here like double time. You have like no time. And I was like, you know, I was like, yeah, I probably shouldn't though. I don't know, I gotta make sure he's okay. And they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Come on, this way. And they basically set something up, and they were trying to funnel me out basically over the fence, over on the far side. Now this is homecoming game. It's between the two rival schools, and people know me in both schools. It was a really fun time. I had people in both schools that I was pretty friendly with, and see, what did I say? Filch, not Flitch. Excuse me, Filch. Pardon me. It doesn't really matter. The thing is, this guy's an asshole. We'll call him Mr. Ass. Oh, no, that's too good because you might think he has a nice butt. He didn't. It would be Mr. Hole. That's much more on brand. Mr. Hole is talking to Farva, my buddy. And Mr. Hole is kind of got I don't know. He really takes delight in this, and so I find Mr. Hole and Farva talking, and my buddy Farva, he's like, I see him kind of like motion like, get the fuck out of here, and my friends, they're trying to get me out of here too, but in my drunken state, I just didn't, I don't know, it didn't feel right to leave him. I don't know, it didn't feel right. And so, moronically, I stayed. And, walking with the group of people who were trying to get me out of there, we had to take, basically the football game was happening, of course, on the field, and there was a track for running track that took place around the outside of the field, and you basically could use that to walk between the two schools' sides. And they were kind of escorting me to the other side where they had arranged a place for me to get out. And I'm like, hey, you know, I gotta take a piss. And Ashley's like, you can take a leak when you get the fuck out of here. And I was like, I think I'm gonna go right now. And she's like, right now? There's nowhere to go right now, Scent. We're in the middle of a fucking football game. It's homecoming right now. And she's like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go right now. They'll be cool with it. It's fine. They'll be cool with it. It'll be all right. They understand. I gotta pee so bad. It'll be fine right here. I'll just go in the end zone. They won't care. Promise. And I do. I pull it out right there in the end zone. And I was like, I'll catch up with you guys later. And my friends are like, we can't be here right now. So they leave, and I take a leak right there in the end zone while homecoming is happening in the fourth quarter. And I'm doing what I do, and Mr. Hole straddles up alongside me. And he has this shit-eating grin on his face that I can still fucking see. I can still fucking see his face. He was so pleased with the situation at hand. It had nothing to do with justice. It had nothing. It had oh no, I wish. It had nothing to do with doing the right thing or stopping me or any other kids from, like, you know, being exposed to the troubles of alcohol. It had nothing to do with that. The guy was just fucking tickled that he had got me. Because there's a whole thing. He actually had, earlier in the year, he had threatened to sue me. Personally, he had threatened to sue me. That's a whole different story. I have Nick stories and I have Mr. Hole stories, and we're not gonna go into either one of those right now. These are just but the guy had threatened to sue me, and it had caused a fucking problem, and it accidentally that's a whole story. That's a whole story we're not even gonna get into. But this guy was fucking grinning from ear to goddamn ear. And he's like, hey, how you doing, Sent? And I'm like, hey, I'm doing great. How about you, Mr. Hole? And he's like, oh, I'm doing great too. It's a good night. I'm still pissing. And he's like, it's a good night. It's great game. And I'm still pissing. And he's just standing there next to me like we're sharing like urinals. And he's like, I came over here because I have to ask, you been drinking tonight? And I was like, oh, Mr. Hole, we both know the answer to that question, don't we? And he's like, oh, I think we do. I've asked one of the police over there to come over here and escort you back to one of their cars, one of the paddy wagons. Now, I'm giving him too much credit. He's an asshole. He doesn't say paddy wagon. But he was so fucking thrilled, and he's like, I just want to make sure that you don't go anywhere in the time it takes them to get over here. And I'm like, oh, I'm not going anywhere. And he's like, good. Yeah, good. Fucking thrilled. You can hear him fucking twisting his goddamn mustache. Just like an evil, he didn't even have a mustache to twist. But this son of a bitch has wax in, and he's doing this. Fucking asshole. Anyway, I know I'm the guy who's drunk underage pissing on a football field, but he's still the asshole in this story. He's still the asshole. Anyway, yeah, exactly. Anyway, the cops come over, and this lovely officer, just doing her job, comes over, and she's like, hey, how you doing, Hopeful? And she's like, hey, how you doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm great. And she's like, you been drinking tonight? And I'm like, well, I think we're about to find out. And she's just like, yeah, we are. Hey, you're not going anywhere, right? And I was like, wherever you take me. And she's like, all right. Well, car's this way. My partner and I are gonna do some tests. And I was like, figured you might. And she's like, yeah. Hey, so I need your backpack there. And I'm like, okay, And she's like, yep, I'm gonna search this here. And she does, and she's like, it's empty. And I was like, yeah, sure is. And she's like, were you distributing alcohol during the game? And I'm like, no. Nope. Of course, lie. And she's like, well, I've been told that you were doing that. I've been told that you were distributing alcohol to other minors. You know, that's a problem. And I heard that you drove here and you'd been drinking beforehand. That's a DUI. And I was like, what? Who told you that? Which, by the way, remember, I told you how it happened. I got nothing to hide here. There was, my parents brought us because we were 16, didn't have a license, you know, what the fuck ever. And she's like, yeah, we actually already got your buddy Farva. He's already been arrested. He's actually in the car. And he says that you drove. And I was like, I think you misunderstood him. I think you misunderstood him. He didn't say that. She's like, oh, that's what he said. He said you drove and he said that you guys are passing out alcohol. And I was like, nah, he didn't say that. It's okay. I think you misunderstood. And she pushes for this narrative over and over and over again. I know Farva, he's not gonna say fucking, they're gonna pull out the rose cutters before he's, threaten to chop off parts of his fingers before he says anything. The guy's ride or die. It's not gonna happen. He's not gonna say that I drove, which I didn't. Doesn't even make sense for me to say that, for him to say that. It also doesn't make any sense for him to say that we're passing out alcohol because it fucks us both over. Why would he do that? Anyway, he didn't do it. But she's like, yeah, he says that you did, and this is not looking good. Unless you're saying he drove while intoxicated. And I was like, what? What? No, he didn't drive. That's not what happened. And they're like, well, one of you had to drive. What happened? And I was like, no, he didn't drive. I didn't drive. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, that's not what happened. And she's like, well, he says you drove. And I'm like, no, he didn't. And at some point, and it's one of those moments that I'm pretty proud that this is one of those things that, like, you think of in the shower after a conversation, but I was drunk and dumb enough to say it, and I'll never be happier with me. Because she says, are you saying that I'm lying? And I said, she said, are you calling me a liar? And I was like, are you lying? And it's one of those things. It shut the conversation down. The conversation stopped right there. And I felt it's one of those things you only ever say to the fucking shampoo bottles when you're alone after the fact. I got to say it in person because I was a fucking moron. Anyway, we get in there. I don't think so, Darklight Smooth Wolf, but I'm gonna finish my story here. So basically, yeah, I was like, are you lying? And that shut the whole thing down. Anyway, they do a breathalyzer. I was I was like a 0.18 or something like that. It's like fucking insane. Like that's so damn much for that's so off of light beer. That's fucking like anyway, so she puts me in the car, and I think Brian was like 022, which is like, whew. Anyway, doesn't matter. But we get in the car, and we're just kind of sitting there in silence, handcuffed in the back of the car, and it's like quiet. We're not even saying anything, and like there's like the muffled commotion outside the cars. By the way, Mr. Hole is volunteering his testimony to both officers. The officers don't care. This is just arresting some drunk kids, you know? They don't care. But like I almost said his name. Shit. Mr. Hole is volunteering fucking like unasked for, like, oh, and they're rotten eggs from the start. You're gonna want to put them in the darkest cell at the back of the facility. And like that's fucking Hole. But anyway, so that's that. Famous Ray, that's right. And anyway, the point is, oh, for like fucking sure. Anyway, but it's like bone, just dead quiet in the back of the car, and Farva looks over at me, and he's like, "Hey, did you say that I drove to the game?" And I was like, "No." Because of course they were doing the same thing to him, where they were trying to get him to say that he drove or that I drove or whatever. Anyway, he's like, "So, did you tell the cops that I drove to the game?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "Oh, I didn't think so." And then just kind of like went like right back to like just handcuffed, just kind of staring at the back of the seats like. Anyway, no, for sure, dude, Legged Shepherd, honest to God, the guy probably, seriously. Oh, yeah, well, and, oh, he was flying high. He was having the night of his life, yeah. Anyway, that was, there you go. I hope it was worth your 15,000 cents. And, yeah, that was a night. I would eventually go on, to Diversion. And I would later get, basically expunged from my adult records, so. Officially, I've never been arrested. Feels good. It costs a lot of money, which is a whole thing. But, yeah, there you go. There you go. I hope it was worth it. Thank you very much, Deluxe. I appreciate that. That's, hello. What the hell's going on? Oh, okay. D-Buck, good. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, it's difficult. Yeah, I get it. But yeah, there you go. No, we were punk-ass kids. We got arrested and then turned over to our parents that night. No, I guess it was the next night. We sat in a holding cell. It wasn't a big deal. It was nothing. It wasn't a big deal. Reverse arrested the cop. That would be amazing. No, I mean, they're allowed to lie to you. They're allowed to lie to you. It's a rumor that they're not. Oh, extremely, yeah. No, so like, I mentioned this, I think, recently. Like, my dad is like a civil servant. And, he like, he literally, he was, a part of, Child Protective Services for, he was with them for 35 years. He saw the worst things imaginable. 35 years. He put his hands in the grossest, most terrible parts of humanity and tried to sort it out for 35 years, which meant he knew all of the juvenile court judges. He knew everyone who ran in all of the circuits when it came to juvenile correction, and disappointment is not even a good way to describe how he felt. it was it was a very low for me, at least as far as, you know, the knowing that I disappointed.
Welcome to the Clan Warrior.
Thank you, Sly. Knowing that I had, yeah, it's rough. It's really rough. But yeah, knowing that I had disappointed him so much, and then going to go see the counselors and the everybody involved, you know, the judges, all that shit, people who he knows on a first name basis. And he's like, "Hi, Courtney, my son and I," and she's like, "Oh, hi, you're here. What's going on? Who do you have today?" And he's like, "Actually, Courtney, my son and I have an appointment. We're 3 o'clock." Like, that was a lot of the shit. It was not good. It was not good. Yeah, I agree with you. Well done. Yeah, well done. Steak is unpog. You are correct through and through. You're correct through and through. Well done steak is very unpog, and I agree. I would rather you not see any ads. I wish that I could. It's not like I get money from it. You know what I mean? It's not like I get a benefit. Trust me, I don't. There are opportunities. Oh, the opportunity. Well done. Oh, it's like 8 cents. And that's an exaggeration. It's something. Oh shit, yeah.
Welcome to the Clan Warrior.
Of course they do, bro. Bro, come on, bro. Of course they do. Twitch gets fucking paid. You think Daddy Bezos is gonna let anybody take his money? At least not me. Well, so the way it works is like this, and I'm happy to share because I hate them, and I'm not sure I'm allowed to talk about it, but we're gonna talk about it a little, just briefly. We're gonna briefly touch on this, touch our briefs on this. Let's see, how much money? Let's find out, hang on. Let's go, let's take a walk. How much money did I make in Twitch ads last month? Let's go crazy. We're gonna find out together. Hello? I made, last month, I made $14.77 on ads, streaming 6 days a week. So, as the second most watched Swoter streamer, period, I made less than $15 on ads last week. I would wager that there was well more than $15 in revenue. Wouldn't you? Oh, don't spend it all. I'm sorry. I do have to go somewhere, so. Well, technically it depends, right? So your sponsors are definitely going to be the best option. I don't have any because I don't want any. I would say this. I haven't found any that I'm interested in, okay? I haven't found any that I have your standard stuff. I have a couple Raid Shadow Legends things. It's kind of cool. I am technically a Twitch partner, you know? That's not nothing. They pay attention to that shit. I have other things, some like addictive BS games and some games that nobody really wants to play and that I don't really want to rep. So I have offers, but it's stuff that like I don't. So that's the most money. The most money possible. Then apart from that would be tips. So if you tip or use the PayPal, that goes right to me. And so there's that. And then after that, I think it would be the tier 3 subs. So if somebody subs at tier 3, I get 75% of it. But that's only limited time. They're actually getting rid of that in like a couple weeks or something. They said it was going to happen this summer. I don't know when. But sometime very soon, there's going to be No, tier 3 is 1 month. It's just tier 3. I don't know what you have access to more emotes, but I've made all of those emotes available for everyone via Nightbot, so don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. There's like extra exclusive emotes if you're like tier 3, but legit, I made them all available with Nightbot. I want you to be able to use them all, so don't fucking worry about it. That's why I sub Nightbot every month. It's because it needs to be tier 3 for use of all the emotes. Doesn't matter. Point is, that's how you would do it, is the tier 3 subs, right? There they are, right there. So, after that, I would say, yeah, I mean, shocking. You'd be surprised, right? Because it's 75% at tier 3, but everything else is 50%, okay? So that means that when we've seen the incredible generosity that we have here, let's go back. So like Lighthammer and Iokana, they're incredible generosity amidst others. I get 50% of what they give in gifts. So generally speaking, it's like $5 or $6 depending, right? For a sub. That gets split down the middle for Amazon and myself. And then I pay Amazon and my taxes. And then what's left is mine, and Amazon got half of the initial. So that's the way that my arrangement works. It's fun. It's pretty fun. From donations like PayPal, yeah. For sure. Well, yeah, for sure. So, that's the way that works, and that's for bits, and that's for subs, and that's all that stuff. And it's, I like having roads, so I don't have a problem with that. Roads are pretty dope. I like to have orderly signs, kind of nice. No, they don't. Not yet. No. Thank God. But I totally, firefighters, pretty cool. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, if that's generally speaking how it breaks down. And I mean, I've mentioned this before, and I only say this just because I don't want anyone to feel alienated. I work pretty hard to not make money on this stream. I'm pretty successful. I'm pretty successful at it. I mentioned before that it takes it's between $750 and $800 a month to run the stream, the way that it is now. And if I make any other purchases for the stream, like this 3090 over here, that's a fucking lot of money. And that's obviously not all stream. So it's a thing. I work damn hard not to make money off the stream. 3090 Ti, correct. It is a 3090 Ti. That's right. But you know what though? I have about $800 in upgrades that I need to build around that. And so it's not like, that's money in my pocket. Sarah and I aren't going to Fiji on that. Honestly, I'm perfectly content with a 3060. But I have plans, you see. I have plans. I have such plans. Yeah, actually, I had to go buy it yesterday. But I am able to buy Fiji water. Sure. I would much rather have Central Air than go to Fiji. That's correct. Exodus Darkrobe knows my, you can see how I'm glowing. Yeah, you can. I would much rather have Central Air than go to Fiji. That's right. And actually, that 39 is gonna make things a lot worse before they're a lot better. That's good. I'm gonna cook. Yeah. Well, that's the idea, right? So, the idea is, I actually don't need a GoPro. I don't need a 3090. These fun little things, obviously, I'm paying a lot for. but they're for content. And I'm excited. Well, the thing is, it's hot in England, but they're like not used to it, and their cities are designed to keep heat in, and so the actual ambient temperature isn't radically different, but there's just no relief. There's no relief because it doesn't cool off at night because their cities are meant to keep the heat in. And so while it's like, you know, hot, it's damn hot. Yeah, Arizona's built for the heat. Like where Andrew is. Andrew's in a literal desert. And, I mean, literally bad. Well, I've been recording footage for, from the hikes and stuff like that. Right, yeah. And so it's hot and there's no relief. It doesn't go anywhere. The heat doesn't leave at the end of the day for like a slight, you know, it doesn't like, there's no relief. It's 110 degrees. And then later it's 110 degrees. And then later it's 110 degrees. And then the sun comes up and it's 110 degrees. It's disturbing. We're not going to get into it. But this is the kind of thing that I've been talking about. I did that 24-hour Earth Day stream. It's a conversation that's very near and dear to me, but it's not one I want to have right now because it's honestly too big for us to tackle right now. We're not going to nail it in a Monday evening stream. Happy you live in Indiana? Yeah. Sarah and I went to Death Valley last summer, which is like fucking crazy. No, we're doing okay. I think where we're having our high right now. It's like 60 something. Oh, not 60. I'm sorry. That'll be the evening. Right now it was like 90 something, and then we're gonna have another 90 and then another 90. It's not supposed to go over 100. So let's see. We did some PvP. What we need to do is talk a little bit about 40K soon. Oh. And you know what else? It's not going to get better. Now, that isn't to say the drought won't end. Hopefully it will. But this is the beginning. It's not good, man. It's not good. It's not good. It's a conversation that's very near and dear to me. It's bad. Oh. Yeah. Got those toasty forearms. Jesus. Dark Tide looking pretty good? Fuck yeah, man. Well, so on that note, though, we are actually going to talk about some 40K. So, what we talked about last time was the Xenos of 40K. Now, why are we talking about 40K? We're talking about 40K because it's going to be very relevant very soon. I don't think so. We'll have to see. It could be that driven to dark side by the plot of our other 40K happenings, I find myself jumping on it right away. I don't know. It's hard to say. It's very hard to say. But I want to talk about some 40K stuff. So, we talked about some of the Xenos. Specifically, we talked about orcs. We talked about how there are basically space elves, the Eldar. And we're going to jump into the time. I just want to kind of, for those who joined us recently, we had a couple of new followers here. What we're doing is talking about Warhammer 40K. It's a grim, dark, sci-fi universe. And the reason we're talking about it is because we're going to be doing, and it's not going to be in this stream here, the moment that Twitch takes my genie shackles off and I'm allowed to roam free and be on other platforms, I'm going to stream to YouTube the role-playing tabletop that we're gonna do. It's gonna be fun, I think. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. We're gonna be doing basically some character building, and I have written / am writing a story, and we're gonna go through it all. It's gonna be a good goddamn time, but I'd like people to know a little more about the world before we jump right into that. So we talk 10 minutes a day, about 40K, and so we're gonna put 10 minutes on the clock. Everybody, if you would go ahead and meet me over in the void, it's time to get started. Oh, you're already here. This is so embarrassing. I'm not even ready. I don't even have my clock ready. This is just you guys. Hang on just a moment here. Oh, Chrono. Oh, it's hot as fuck. I mentioned that, I think. It's like 90 something degrees in this room. And no central air. As was stated earlier. Oh yeah. This is a studio here. I got a 3060 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lights on me right now. It's pretty nice. It's pretty good. It's pretty nice. It's hot as fuck. And it's sound secured. There's literal insulation on the walls. I have one. It's right here. It's right here out of frame. It's just out of frame. So you get, dude, so do I, Leggett Shepherd. That's right. It blows the breaker. Yeah, Exodus is off. Exodus is on top of it. Yeah, no, he's totally right. I cannot have this computer and this AC on at the same time. Now, one thing, yes, most of them are LEDs, but they still do it. They still do it. All together, they still do it. So when Erica leaves, I think I'm gonna run an extension cord from basically what is her room right now. We're in Oregon. We're near to Portland. We're like 10 minutes away from Portland. Maybe 15. With traffic more. Doesn't matter. Point is, we're actually near to Portland. Yeah. But, I think I'm gonna run an extension cord to Erica's room and basically just power it from a different breaker. It's a shitty alternative, but I think I said what I gotta do. I can't. It's so hot. So we're gonna talk about some 40K though, okay? So, yeah. I am. There we go, and there we go. So, I do love it, dude. This is so much fun. This is my fun time. This is my fun time. This is not This is a labor of love. It takes some work, but it's, for me at least, a creative outlet that I get to interact with the people who this is such a cool and weird and unique opportunity. Think about it like this. You know how when you go out to anywhere, you're surrounded by people who you don't want to hang out with, right? What if you could put yourself on some kind of a billboard and say, hey, people who want to hang out with me, people who are going to get along with me, you come to me. And that's kind of what we're doing here. Where it's like, if we're a mesh, if we have a mesh, if we're capiche, we're talking, we're hanging out. It's the most bizarre and effective filtering system ever to define people that you can hang out with. Sure. Like the Final Fantasy 14 ERP group did in Texas. Yeah. You know who's not going to show up to that? People who don't want to show up to that. Anyway, the point is, yeah, it's so much fun. It's chill, it's hanging out, and I think that part of it is that I don't see it as like work. This is not my job. And I think that if I were to ever do that, it would probably change my relationship with it. And I wouldn't like, it probably wouldn't have the same feeling. That probably makes sense, right? I don't think we need that. We don't need that. We don't need that. In fact, we're gonna talk a little bit about that, actually. So, let's put 10 minutes on the clock and we're gonna talk about some 40K. Be working? No. Thank you. Okay, so right now we're talking about the Xenos. Now, why and who? A long time ago, in a sci-fi trope, many years ago, there were ancient progenitor aliens, as there always are in sci-fi. This is just how sci-fi works. There's always an ancient, mysterious progenitor alien species, right? As happens in sci-fi, these ancient aliens were at war. But they don't war like you and I might, where we're like, I have gun, I shoot you with gun, war over, I won. It's not like that. These wars are so enormous and so long term that these ancient aliens, and we're not gonna get into it, basically started making species to evolve into soldiers and fight. Literally waiting, though they're fighting so long that it takes the duration of a species to evolve into what they want. That's how long they're fighting, and they use them as soldiers. Well, one of the species that was evolved and used basically as a weapon were the orcs that we talked about in the last segment. Effective, but not against such powerful opponents as these progenitor aliens. No, you needed something with a little more guile, something with a little more tact. And so they evolved more or less replacements if they were to die. A species that would commonly later be known as the Eldar. And the Eldar are basically the elves of the 40K universe. I mentioned that, and it's a loose comparison, but the comparison can be made. They don't die of old age. They have extremely advanced culture and technology. They think of themselves as a higher species, and they look down on other species. Rightly so. They've got it all figured out. They have an eternity to master a trade or a tact. In fact, they're so evolved and advanced. One of the worries that they have is becoming accidentally obsessed with something, because you can lose 100 years studying a single sword technique. Literally 200, 400 years. Why not 1,000? You can accidentally devote an eternity to one thing with accidental obsession. Now, these space elves are also magic, right? And what do we call magic in 40K? Psychic. Yeah, it's the warp. You're using that Ethereum we talked about. You're touching with your mind that parallel universe that runs invisible to our realm here that you can draw from. You can use that energy to do all kinds of incredible and horrifying things. But remember, it's not free. You're opening a door that isn't one way. The things in that Ethereum are horrifying. Truly, literally nightmare fuel. They are actually the organisms created by coalesced nightmares. Actually, if you hate, if you feel hate, if you turned a corner too tight and you stubbed your toe on a chair today, that feeling you felt, you just made one of the Dark Lords a little stronger. That's how that works. And it's worked that way for all of time, for every species. The beings in that realm are beyond powerful. It can't be measured. It's not a thing that you can't be like, it's over 9,000. It's not, you can't, it's an immeasurable force of just hate and evil. Okay? So, well, hopeful, I'm just saying, the Inquisition counts your sins. Anyway, we're talking about stuff. Most of all, the Eldar here. So the Eldar, they live a long time. And they're all psychic, all of them. So, what does this mean? Well, this means that whenever they hate, it's like double, because they're psychic. They're basically charging that feeling. They're charging that feeling. Okay. Well, what do humans do? Like Elon Musk, how many fucking kids does this guy have? We keep finding out that he just bangs every woman he sees, he puts a kid in. Those are the women who got pregnant. The guy has, there's no answer, right? He has a lot of money, he has a lot of power, he has a lot of influence. He's just putting babies in bitches. That's what's happening right now, right? That's happening. So, what happens if you're the Eldar? You don't have a care in the world, you don't die, you have an extremely advanced culture. What do? You start trying to put babies in bitches. It's gonna happen. In fact, your entire culture starts to kind of invest in nipple clamps. But not just nipple clamps, it's kind of like if sounding was an Olympic sport. These guys went crazy. These guys went fucking nuts. They would have 200-year orgies where it wasn't enough just to bone. And it wasn't enough just to, scratch or bite. They would shave parts of their skin off. They would flay each other alive in these 200-year orgies with 4,000 people. The depravity got so out of control that their entire species was devoted to just trying to find the next kink. That's a lot of passion for some very powerful, very long. Now we're talking billions of souls. Billions. Tens, dozens of billions. Hundreds of billions of. Remember, they don't die. They don't die. You're talking about hundreds of billions. An entire species that connects to the ethereum on a mental level, looking for the next fucked up thing to do to start fucking up a little harder. Well, there are different beings in the ethereum for the different kinds of hate, so to speak. It turns out, if you have a very special connection to the ethereum and enough of your people are invested in a lustful, freaky, deaky kind of mutilation fuck cult, you can accidentally create a god of chaos all your own. And that's what they did. The Eldar had an orgy so hard and so depraved they accidentally coalesced in the Ethereum a new god of chaos. Slaanesh was born. And Slaanesh wants to fuck you to death. And after death. Forever. It's non-consensual and you won't like it. Especially tasty are those Eldar souls. The Eldar accidentally ruined their species because when Slaanesh was born, most of their species were killed in the creation of the god. Most of their species zero-summed, and that energy went right into the creation of that god. Okay, so there we go. We talked a little bit about, oh, and by the way, this is kind of an adult series. I think that's probably worth mentioning now. Oh, let's get some sci-fi, huh? Yeah, I love sci-fi. This is great. This is great. Let's get the kids in here. Star Wars is streaming Swoder. Oh, yeah. Anyway, but yeah, family friendly. So that was our conversation that we had about the Eldar. Now we've talked about orcs, we've talked about the Eldar. Next time, we're gonna talk about the Tyranids. And that's a whole nother conversation. So, okay. That was fun. So, let's get rid of this. I'm really glad. A lot of hearing me talk this stream, huh? I had D-Bex Redemption, and then I had the 40K business. We did some PvP. I was poorly PvPing. But like I mentioned, and regrettably, I actually have to cut this one early tonight. Meet me in the room. We'll talk about it a little more in the room. We're gonna meet in the room. To the room. We're here. What's up? Now, Tyranids are your favorite. I totally get that. I take it you played Zerg in StarCraft? Zerg player? Is that right? Zerg player much? Okay, so we're talking a little bit about 40K now. We talked about the story time. We hung out a little bit. I know. Oh, Protoss? Hey, samesies, huh? Nice. But hey, so Terran are utilitarian. It's a Swiss Army knife. But I digress. We have no more time today. I wish that we did. I actually don't want to be leaving. I would even endure this hot room. But I have, like I said, some personal things I have to get nailed away. I don't like it. You don't like it. But the good news is this. I'm on vacation next week. I got some extra time coming up. Should be good. It should be good. So, and maybe Sin. I don't think a 24-hour stream, no. I have things I have to do during vacation. Like I said, we have several hikes planned. It's gonna be a good time. But, like I said, I gotta head out. So, you guys, thank you guys so much for showing up. I know it was brief today. I don't know. It's probably gonna be just your 6 to 8, somewhere in there at the most, you know. Probably 6 hours, probably the usual. Vacation? Well, yeah, a little bit. Kind of how it works. Well, we will be. That's what these are for. Oh, I was starting to mention, so one of the weaknesses with these is one of their strengths. They shoot fantastic fucking footage. But on 64 gigs, you have about an hour of footage. You can only shoot about an hour of footage and fill up a 64 gig card. That's not a lot. So, and it comes to 64 gig. So I have had to order a new card. I got a 600 gig. And it it gives you about an hour and a half of runtime for 2 batteries. If you have a full battery and replace it halfway through, it's an hour and a half. The thing is, it shoots beautiful, beautiful footage. Beautiful footage. It's so much better than I thought. But I had to make some other purchases. So we're gonna have something to work with here, I'm thinking, real soon. I'm slowly cobbling together those hike videos. So again, thank you guys for showing up. I will see you in tomorrow's stream. To the people who followed us, well, fuck yeah. This is a short but pretty, I would say, standard example of a normal well, it's family friendly. I'll see you guys in the next one. Good night. Oh, wow. And another one here. I'm also trying to put together a new playlist for the credits and a new playlist for the intro. These things take time though, so I appreciate everyone's patience. Good night, take care. See you tomorrow.